The Gordie Howe International Bridge is being threatened by the U.S. president. The bridge is a $4 billion project that serves as both a physical and symbolic connection between Windsor, Ontario, and Detroit, Michigan. Trump says that he will block the opening unless the United States is, quote, fully compensated for everything it has provided to Canada. We're not clear what that means. For more on this, we are joined now by Drew Dilkins, the mayor of Windsor. Mayor, thank you very much for joining us today.
Good morning.
Never a dull moment with the president. You really haven't pulled any punches on your thoughts about him, though.
Well, it's just par for the course. This every day is a different Donald Trump story. And I've lived here from the very start of the conversation about this Gordie Howe Bridge. And from the time the conversation started until the time the bridge opens sometime this year will have been 25 years. So think of the prime ministers, the presidents, the governors, the premiers, the mayors that have been involved on all sides of the border, making sure that this project proceeded in a timely way, in a thoughtful way. The bridge is built. The connections are made on both sides of the border. The port of entries are built. Customs officers have been hired. And so it's difficult to imagine that this won't open. But clearly Donald Trump throwing a grenade on social media and suggesting that he's going to block it until the U.S. is made whole. I'm not really sure what he means, because at the end of the day, the U.S. didn't contribute to this project. This was paid for by Canada and Michigan.
I have a few questions. First of all, do you think he could block it? Have you had a chance to look at are there any legal ways that he could do this?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure the teams are looking at that. I would suspect his mechanism would be to starve Customs and Border Patrol resources at that border so that it couldn't effectively open. But at the end of the day, it only serves to the disadvantage. Not only, it's our disadvantage too, but it serves to the disadvantage of folks who work in Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, who are looking forward to having this seamless border crossing open between the busiest commercial corridor between Detroit and Windsor and U.S. and Canada. The auto sector on both sides of the border here operates on a just-in-time delivery basis. This bridge will be the most seamless, quickest way to cross the U.S.-Canada border when it opens. And why would you want to do anything and take any action that harms workers and employers on the U.S. side of the border? If you're the U.S. president, it's beyond me.
And I mean, I think it's $1 billion a day is the number I've heard. I lived and worked down in Windsor, Detroit. I love that area. And they were actually, you're really one place when you're down there. I think everybody down there sees each other as brothers and sisters. With this, we heard him say, I think, that there was no American steel that was put in this, or they avoided the Kuzma deal. But everything's gone by the book, and this involved the mayor or the president in his first term.
It's all lies. Don't believe any of the nonsense that was in that post, because a lot of U.S. steel went into the construction of the bridge on the U.S. side, the construction of the port of entry on the Michigan side. All of the work that was done in the state of Michigan to connect this bridge to the highway interstate system was probably all U.S. steel. Over 8,000 U.S. workers worked to help produce this bridge. There were 15,000 folks who were trained and worked on the bridge. 8,000 came from the United States. And so it is nonsense to believe that there's no U.S. steel or U.S. building materials that went into it. It's completely wrong. And it's part of the frustration of Donald Trump that he doesn't use facts when he talks about issues. He just throws out and makes up his own facts. This is just another example of him doing that, and he's completely wrong.
And you're getting, of course, a lot of support from senators in Michigan, and representatives are all rallying to this as well. They know the importance of this.
Well, we built this together, and I think they understand that we built it together. And even the folks on the Michigan side, on the U.S. side, in Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky especially, they understand how important this is for business and employees in their respective states. And the thought that the president would do something that would thwart the growth of business, that would thwart economic development in his own country, based especially on the fact that he created this trade war. Why would you want to do something that actually further disadvantages workers, especially in Michigan, which was a swing state for Donald Trump? So politically, this makes no sense. Economically, this makes no sense. I suspect the bridge will open. I'm confident Prime Minister Carney and Ambassador Hoekstra, who actually hails from the state of Michigan, will find a pathway to make sense with the president. And things hopefully come spring when the weather breaks, the bridge will open. It's just unfortunate, Roger, that this is the type of infrastructure that in normal times, because it's such a once in a generation type investment, you would usually have a Canadian Prime Minister and a U.S. President meet in the middle, cut the ribbon, shake hands, and celebrate the binational relationship. I suspect that's not going to happen at this time. But let's just get the bridge open and help support workers on both sides of the border based on these trade deals and the economy that we've built together.
Never say never, but I might agree with you on that one. You're also the chair of the Border Mayors Alliance, which was formed when all of this exploded. It seems like it was forever ago, but last year. What has happened how are border cities coping with everything that's unfolding?
Well, I mean, it's been difficult, and I don't think our message is probably much different than what people feel across the country, and that relates to uncertainty. And it's just more uncertainty with Donald Trump's post yesterday that he throws into the marketplace for people to digest, trying to figure out how it impacts them. But you have people in Michigan, you have people in Ontario who are saying, you know what, I'm not really sure whether I should book the vacation. Should I buy the new car? Should I renew the mortgage or get a bigger house? They're sort of waiting and seeing until there's greater clarity in terms of what the economic future looks like. And that's not good for an economy on either side of the border. And so the sooner we can get certainty, I know things like this and talking about not opening a bridge certainly speaks to the complexity of that Prime Minister Carney and the team federally will encounter when they try and sit down with the U.S. team this year to talk about negotiations with respect to CUSMA and USMCA. It's going to be a thorny issue because the president likes to cherry pick individual issues, steel, auto, aluminum, softwood lumber, dairy, and try and get a resolution on these singular issues when we're trying to talk about a comprehensive trade agreement that serves to the benefit of both nations and has proved to be very, very successful over the course of many decades.
Okay, Mayor, we have to wrap it up there, but thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
That was Drew Dilkins, the mayor of Windsor, Ontario.